So more than one is ideal. Okay. Long-term debt, then liquidity is you have long-term debt to equity. So how much debt we are having. So if in our previous example we saw how much was the debt to equity for Lenovo? Very high, right? Lenovo, the total assets are total liability, total equity is only 1, and their debt was nearly 10. Correct? So debt was more than the equity. For both Lenovo and Xiaomi was half. Samsung equity was more, debt was less, and Lenovo equity was less and debt was more. So which company has a higher risk? If tomorrow the company is Lenovo is a higher risk, right? Because they are investing very less of their own money. So if tomorrow the value of equity share assets is reduced, let's say tomorrow there is a war and they have to sell all their assets, who will lose? Debtor, because the assets will not be enough to pay debtors. Correct? In a normal company, if you go bankrupt, the court is asked to do the bankruptcy process. You have to settle your employees first. If you have taken loan against any of your assets, that will get another priority. If you owe anything to government, that will be the first priority. The last one will be the one who give you the money without any collateral. And if any assets are left after paying everything, the owners will get their money. So owners are the last one to get any money. So if the company's risk means the owners are not even able to get their own money, right? Debtors are also not. So if the equity is less and debt are higher, means the debtors will also not get their money. Equity, forget about it. But if debt is low, equity is high, means the assets will be at least be minimum to pay off their debtor, right? So for outsiders, company is sound, right? If the equity is not enough, company is nobody will be willing to pay you more money, right? If you have to invest, you will be able to invest into give loan to Samsung because they don't have very high debt, but you will never give to Lenovo anymore because their debt is already super high, right? So that ideal ratio for debt to equity is 2 to 1, means your total debt can be twice of your assets, twice of your equity, not more than that. In our world, normally in the finance world, we accept 2 to 1. So if you have $50 of your own money, you can borrow up to 100. If you borrow more than 100, you will be risky. You will be considered as risky. Okay. Then total debt to total assets means what is the total debt? How much money, how much assets do I have? So what this ratio will tell? This ratio will tell how much buffer the debtors have. If the total assets, if you see in the Lenovo or in the Lenovo, the total asset to total debt is very high because whatever asset they buy is actually coming from the loan. They don't have their own money, right? So the higher the ratio means more risky is the company. Okay. And then the last is interest coverage ratio. So what is the interest coverage ratio means? It means how many times our earnings are enough to pay our interest. If you have to pay, let's say $10,000 interest and your salary is only $12,000, will the bank give you the money? Because you don't have enough income, right? Whenever you apply for a personal loan, the bank will ask you how much is your salary. Why they want to know that? Why they don't just give you the loan? Because they want to know, do you have a paying capacity or not? If you are earning $6,000 a month, the bank will never give you any loan more than $6,000 interest, where the interest is more than $6,000. Forget about the principal, correct? If you are not able to pay your interest, how will you pay the principal? So the banks normally does not pay you more than 50% of your regular income because you have expenses, right? You have food, you have housing, you have rental. You take any personal loan, the banker will never give you more than 20-30% of your regular income. So business is also the same. If the bank is coming to you, yesterday we discussed about cash from operations, correct? This is cash from operations, operating results, cash from operations. So if your interest payment is more than cash from your operations, you are unlikely to get any loan. So where you get the money from then? Ask shareholders, right? Ask founders, give more. Or ask the venture capitalists, but don't ask for interest, correct? But if you have enough cash from operations, you will be able to get money from your bankers, correct? Because you are able to repay your loan. If your cash from operation is not sufficient, you don't think about loans. And the cash conversion cycle.